Doo-doo-doo. Looks like we're live. Happy Friday, everybody. All you lovely people out there. So, the season finale of Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings. Gonna watch the last one. Gonna see how it goes. I can't say I'm not curious. I can't say I've despised it. There are certain things that I could despise if I kind of let myself, but I'm just kind of making the choice. Whatever it is, I have no control over it. So it's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. So I sort of reviewed the last episode. Just this it struck me how much non-dialogue there was in that entire episode. I just kind of fast forwarded through it, trying to find any substantial dialogue. Something I did miss in the last episode, that Galadriel does mention Celeborn, her husband. So because I didn't know if they were just going to write him off or what they were going to do with Celeborn. Although she makes it seem like he's either missing or he's dead. Who knows? And then I was reminded, in addition to Celeborn, Galadriel's husband, they're also supposed to have a daughter, because later on, like thousands of years later, like her daughter marries Elrond. But I was just imagining they're just going to write off all of these characters. But no, that they do mention Celeborn, surprisingly, although she's kind of like, she's never seen him again. He went off to, so I don't know what they're going to do with that. And so just a quick review of the last episode then. It's basically just them, because the episode before that, they got kind of knocked over by the exploding Mount Orodruin, and then the last episode was just them pretty much standing up from that, and then taking off and getting ready for this episode. So the hopes would be that they saved all of their eggs for this episode's basket, because the last one was just kind of like, okay, this thing happened in the last episode. Oh no, now we have Mordor instead of the Southlands. Now we still don't have any explanation about Eminem with boobs. Although he likes blowing up hobbit villages. We don't have any information about Adar, if he's just a fabricated character or who he actually is or what he is. I'm assuming the Eminem guy is Sauron. So who Adar is, what part he plays, who knows? Same thing with the wizard guy or the not Gandalf guy. There's so many unanswered questions so far. And something else that struck me was a conversation that Galadriel had with Theo, the 14-year-old random kid from the Southlands, who she also gave her sword to before she left. Like, dude, that sword was probably a nice sword, and that sword's probably worth more than his entire village. Although when Galadriel was found by the Numenorians originally on the raft, she didn't have any armor or sword, so I guess all that stuff was just made for her by the Numenorians. I don't know. But she's talking about killing orcs, and the kid says good, and she's like, don't talk about... Now, I understand the concept of any killing is bad, so I can guess that's what they were going with, because I've heard other people talk about this idea of that nobody can truly be bad. This entire everything's morally gray. Therefore, orcs are just misunderstood creatures, and they were just given room to do their stuff. They wouldn't have to. No, that's not the idea at all. The idea is these are creatures of shadow, and the only way shadow is supposed to be dealt with is by putting light on it. Now, so whether or not you want to consider that an overtly violent act, I don't think so. I don't think correcting a corruption is an act of destruction. If you're destroying corruption, you're not causing destruction, because the destruction is what you're getting rid of. which that is pretty much the idea of what evil is. Evil is not a thing within itself. There's not something that here's good and here's evil. There's good, and then there's everything else that's not good, that's away from good. And that is what we generally call evil or bad or wrong, depending on that. So to trim off, to get rid of the wrong, to get rid of the shadows, and again, you don't get rid of shadows, you just shine light on shadows, makes the shadows go away. You don't destroy a crack in a wall. You fix the crack, and in fixing the crack, you're actually destroying the destruction. So yeah, so in fixing corruption, or in repairing something or redeeming something, you're not destroying darkness. You are destroying darkness, but you're getting rid of darkness. That in itself is not an evil act. So for her to talk about killing these orcs, it's like, oh, what? One day the orcs are going to be redeemed? No. So anyway, yeah. So we have the institution of the land of Mordor. Galadriel's got to go, and apparently she thinks she's going to get punished by the king of the elves for what she's done with the king of Gil-galad doesn't know what's happening. The queen regent of Numenor is now blinded, and she's apparently gonna go, and she really wants to declare war on whoever she thinks is doing these evil folk. So, and the mithril plot, because again, mithril silver in this Middle Earth universe cures corruption because it contains the light of the trees or something, kind of like the Silmarils, and the elves want it not because they're just greedy, but because it's like they need it to survive. It's like medicine for them or something. It's not digging that plot too much, but it looks like Prince Durin just got sort of denounced by his father, King Durin, and because he decided he's not going to help the elves and shut up the seal up the mines where the mithril is, because again, later on, what happens much later in the books is where they dig too deep for the mithril and wake up the Balrog, and this actually showed the Balrog. So I'm gonna get started on it. I know usually the reviews or the recaps show something relevant to this episode.
After Morgoth's defeat, one you call Sauron, he sought to craft the power, not of the flesh, but of the flesh. I killed Sauron.
I do not believe you.
Alright, so yeah, so the Adar Dark Elf guy said he killed Sauron. So I don't know if they're setting that up to be some kind of a civil war between Dark Elf guy, Adar, and Eminem guy, who seems like his Anatar.
I will not risk dwarven lives to help the elves to death.
I'm going to listen.
I guess I just don't know the need to add these dramatic parts where it seems like there should be enough room for stuff without adding all these additional characters and additional plot lines. But I don't know what they're doing.
Behind our sides, fighting at your side.
I felt it too. This wound needs elvish medicine. Where are you going? Warn him what's coming.
Alone?
She won't be alone.
I suppose I could give some predictions about how this is actually going to end, or what's going to happen. I mean, it's good. It has to reveal what the deal is with Sauron, or whoever Sauron's going to be. It's got to reveal what the heck this weirdo is. He's just running around blowing up, or no, he didn't blow it. They're making trees grow. because that wasn't really a Gandalf thing. So maybe there's still a chance this isn't Gandalf. At this point, my best hope for this guy is he's just some completely fabricated character, race, whatever.
You're not a peril.
Like just some new wizard. Not Gandalf, not Radagast. But yeah, that last episode, just lots of just not dialogue happening. And maybe my mind's just warped to the point of wanting constant stimulation. Although yeah, I was trying to flip through it, and it was just like lots of just people sitting around staring at each other. It's like if it was a 2-hour movie, like that's like a movie thing for a TV show. I don't know. Okay, so Hobbit chick is going off to find the dude, or maybe she's an illusion. That was my impression. Yeah, okay. That wasn't really her. Alright, so what's good? What exactly is going on? What is up with the Eminem? Some kind of a staff. And these two people with him. They're clearly supposed to look like elves. They're speaking Quenya, and they said they come to serve. All right, so that guy is Sauron. There we go. So that is supposed to be Sauron. The old man who the Hobbit chick was just... Okay, so that's a surprise. I was wigging out about it being Gandalf. Or somebody else. They just revealed that that's Sauron. So the Eminem guy is not Anatar. I heard somebody say that his name was Anatar. So I just went with it. Alright, so Sauron is being shown as... So it makes sense a bit just to go with it. Because if Sauron is a Maiar, and... Eminem and Slim Shady are hobbits. I was trying to think of how this could be salvaged. I'm good to see you, Ernie. I mean, they're really just doing their own thing. Which, I mean, what else are they going to do? I mean, the biggest problem is obviously the timeline messing with, but that's and I can think of so many cool ways that they could do it, and they could write it, and they can get around whatever limitations they have. Like that would be fun to try to write around the limitations. Okay, so we're back down at Galadriel. I guess now doesn't have a sword. Is traveling the some couple 1,000 miles. I don't know, maybe like 800 miles.
And we have none.
From Mordor all the way up to Lindon. That's pretty far for her to be riding a horse. I think it showed her with a couple horses. They're all still...
The sun itself began as something no bigger than the palm of my hand. How could we possibly match the powers that wrought the sun?
There's no way.
We're out of time.
Celebrimbor and Elrond discussing...
We must inform the High King of our failure.
That they have failed.
And the elves must prepare to abandon these shores. Forever.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. The way these elves are, they're going to declare war. We know it. They're going to go to war with the dwarves or something. These elves are not very likable in this at all. Lindon in Norway. It depends on which way you bend the map and compare it to Middle-earth.
Enemy lost.
Because actually Norway could be my favorite map is
Can you help him?
Galadriel's arrived at Eregion.
King of the
There's
South.
one map I saw when you bend it correctly.
I was at your
It
path
looks
across
like
the Keys.
Sweden and Norway are, and the fjords are basically the Misty Mountains that have been flooded. And then off to the like around like Iceland would be like where like Balerion was, because whatever it is, like Oxford was supposed
I
to
should
be
never have set you on.
right where
I should have
where
trusted
the
you.
Shire is.
It is a mistake I will not make again.
I leapt from that ship.
Oh, so they're just
I
finding
felt
out.
in my heart I was not yet worthy of it. I knew that somehow my task here was not yet complete.
Leapt from
When
the
I
ship in the
surfaced,
middle of the ocean.
all I could do was swim and pray.
She
that
basically
it was
tried to
the
commit
right-
suicide. That's what that was. Instead of trying to just sail away. Now, I did read
I did not cross
that in one
bitter
of the
ocean.
renditions, I don't remember if it was Unfinished
I was
Tales
drowned now.
or not, that she did refuse to travel to Tol Erisi. So there was an island prior to the Undying Lands called Tol Erisi, which is the Lost Island or the first island or something like that.
What are we to do?
It's sort of like Avalon or Tir Nan Og,
The
where
only thing we can do.
the elves will go, and if they don't quite want to fully leave the earth behind, then they stay on this island, and apparently Galadriel was offered to go there, and
Who's that?
she had refused. Now this didn't have that. This just had her sailing west, to which again she's supposed to be
Who's
in
that?
exile.
Reveal yourself. It's Galadriel, eh?
What's up, Guido Sarducci, my brother?
No. Shouldn't you be resting? What is this place? This was the workshop of Celebrimbor. The Celebrimbor?
Wait, who is that? She's
He's not
taking.
here, is he?
Did she take that
No.
Southland guy with her?
As a matter of fact, he is.
Did she take that guy with her to Eregion? Weird. So he's got some machinery.
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor does.
The master I apprenticed to used to speak.
Yeah, the
of
entire
wonders of your
Fjordway.
craft. I never dreamed I'd ever get the chance to see them in person. You were Smith? Well, nothing like your artistry.
Okay, so she brought this. Again, I don't like this
These gemstones.
pseudo Aragorn guy.
I've never seen anything like them. What do you plan to
Here talking to
use them
Celebrimbor.
for? Fëanor's jewel craft managed to capture the essence of Valinor. I had hoped to do the same for Middle-earth. This is a peculiar ore.
Interestingly, I was randomly
it?
looking at a map of England, and if
Not
you look
enough.
at
Enough
if you
for
took
what?
England and just chopped it off where like Hadrian's Wall begins,
tried
and
combining
you
it
sort
with
of look at the shape it
So,
makes, it almost
Let's
looks
stretch it
like
out.
the shape of Numenor, because Numenor is sort of shaped like a star, with like the Meneltarma in the middle,
Forgive me,
which is
but,
where the mountain that
the
they
rest was
worship
having a fall.
Iru,
Couldn't
the
the right
god on.
alloy also amplify those qualities? Amplify.
So I'd be surprised if
Well, I
that
came
was
on
also a
precious
thing,
metals
that
with
the map of
scarce
Numenor
hands
that
to-
Tolkien made was based on
To learn to combine
England.
them, to harness strengths and hide flaws. I've seen a trace of nickel added to iron to make a blade lighter and stronger. Might there not be some alloy to amplify the qualities of your ore?
So here's the problem. All right, so we're on the final episode of this, and we have these two sitting around yakking about
Well,
nickel
that is-
alloys, and are these
Intriguing
all
suggestion.
Sauron? Is that what they're doing here? Is this guy going to be Sauron too? Are there two Saurons or what? Because now he's explaining to him about gifts and how to get these weird properties out of these alloys, as if he's teaching him the lore of ring making with jewels and magic. This is getting very
Black
convoluted.
flags will fill.
We don't need to be adding more mystery. We need to be solving some
It will be
mystery.
our duty to forge for him a tomb,
Now we're back on Numenor,
granting him the immortality in stone.
the dying king of Numenor.
No man, not even a king, can attain in life.
Tubal-Cain.
Draftsmen from across Numenor have been summoned to capture his visage, so they can propose a design. Of all the apprentices, you have been chosen to propose one as well.
Something I had heard was about hey Mick,
In the coming days, each of you will be granted 1 hour with the
the
king.
how Tolkien made Elbereth Varda very much like like Queen Mary for the Catholics, how they will yell or cry, like, because the elves would cry out Elbereth's name. Blessings in Jesus, brother. Yeah, that's right.
I know what you have been doing in the dark of night when you thought all eyes were asleep.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Your
so
hand here will be back in a moment, my king.
the chick,
There is still time.
Elendil's daughter, is doing something with the king.
Time for what?
To warn you, young Miriam.
I'm assuming she wasn't trying to assassinate him.
No, but you will be. So know this: if the old ways of our people are not soon restored, our island will fall.
Yeah, so the king, Tar Palantir, realizes they need to stop being jerks. I don't know what they're doing in this plot line. Because again, in the book lines, the houses of Elendil are the faithful, and they flee, while these guys try to actually declare war on the west.
You must go up, but don't do it.
Giant armada, hundreds of ships. They just showed them sending like 3 or 5 ships to Middle Earth. Like, these guys should have like thousands of, like, these guys are like the ancient Rome on the sea. Well, I guess it's kind of like Carthaginians, but not really. Yeah, I've always thought of the Middle Earth as sort of like this quasi pre-flood world. Even before I believe anything in scripture, I would still look at these sort of pre-lands, like sort of in this way, like there's some truth in everything.
I know it sounds strange, High King, but surely we should exhaust every possible solution.
Precisely what manner of object?
I thought that way back then.
It would be smaller than previously imagined. Something that could be carried.
A scepter, perhaps. A sword?
Or perhaps a crown.
Or a ring.
Why a crown? A circular form will be ideal, allowing the light to arc back upon itself in one unbroken round, building to a power that is all but unbounded. And you would place all that power upon the brow of one being?
Not just any one being, High King. You.
I mean, Gil-galad has to be so obtuse.
Sometimes the perilous path is the only path.
Like,
I would not be
elf,
standing here otherwise.
I don't know. I guess a lot of elf kings were kind of jerkbags.
We ask only for the time needed to gather the elven smiths and test Celebrimbor's theory. Our time runs short.
I've never heard any ill spoken of Gil-galad.
Since the mountain of fire's eruption, the great tree is all but bleeding leaves. Soon the last will fall.
Why does Celebrimbor look old?
Leave these shores, so shall we.
They should all look like...
There is no elf in Middle-earth who wanted a solution more than I. But if this was to be our salvation, I'm afraid we needed it sooner.
Here's the thing. Even within the realm of this, I don't even believe these elves. I don't believe that... It showed it curing a leaf, the mithril silver. But I would actually believe that these guys are such jerks that they would just make up this story to tell the dwarves, just so they can get their hands on the mithril and get the dwarves to mine it for them. I don't blame the dwarves at all for not giving in to these guys. I'd be like, no, just go. You have the opportunity to sail to the west and leave these shores forever. Just go. What are you waiting for? You don't like it? Leave.
All of you.
Yo, Jerome. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. God bless you.
Those words. Power of the flesh. Where did you
That's a
hear?
spicy meatball.
I was conferring with my Smiths, I think. I believe those are my words.
Was Hellbound with you?
At least we're finally getting to the rings.
What does it matter? It's over.
Other than my yakking, now I'm kind of like,
Hi, King, wait!
what are they
I'm
doing?
sorry.
What are they doing with the timelines, too?
I'm owed that much.
It just took her... How long did it take her to get from... Well, it doesn't matter.
Do it not out of recompense.
I mean, it matters, but not in this case.
Do it because I
Not to these writers.
It is a fool's hope, Elrond. Merely that, nothing. Hope is never mere. Not even when it is meager. Or have you forgotten your own counsel?
So they're still going to try to convince the dwarves then? Or are they trying to actually make their own version of Mithril, something that does the similar thing? I missed that. I know there's a lot that went on between Halbarat and Celebrimbor right there. Yeah, because he had that piece of Mithril he was given. So yeah, so they're going to try to... So does she suddenly not trust him or what? So Galadriel's watching Halbrand get all into the smithing here in
I need royal lineages, bloodlines. Anything you
Eregion.
can find in the Southlands.
Our records are limited concerning the mortal kingdoms. I shall have to scour the
Well,
categories.
all right. So apparently, I was smarter than these elves than Galadriel. Because now she's looking into, be like, wait a minute, who is from the Southlands that claims to be a king who wouldn't be evil? Duh.
Don't be afraid. Celebrimbor will find a way. I'm certain of it.
All of a sudden, the two of you seem quite familiar.
I'm just offering whatever humble aid
Like,
I
it's not believable. And he's too tall.
Tell you the
He's
truth,
supposed
I
to be a
still
mortal
hardly
man
believe
from
it.
the Southlands. He should be like,
Someone
he
like
should look
me.
like Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Working with the elven smiths of Eregion.
Almond Brothers.
Thank you, Galadriel,
How much taller he is from
For
Galadriel.
bringing you here,
for saving my life.
as you saved mine. Our scales are balanced.
No. No, you've done far more than that for me.
Now, if he turns out
I
to
don't
be
believe
like
in
some,
But you.
I don't know, some other
You
version of
believed in
Sauron,
me. You saw strength in
that would
me.
make sense if he made her
Pushed
cry
me
in that
to
other
heights that no
episode.
one
But
else
other than
could
that,
have.
that is just reprehensibly
I'll never
unacceptable.
forget that.
That a mortal man would make Galadriel emotional.
And I'll see to it that no one else does either.
All right, so what are we getting? So now we're getting a creepy vibe off of this guy because of the music, right?
Do not be afraid, Master. The more your powers awaken, the more the veil will weaken.
Veil.
The one placed upon your mind by those who cast you down. But we have come here to welcome you in, to bring you to our lands.
Your lands.
You know them already.
Okay, so these are the
The stars.
the minions of Sauron.
A pattern visible in but
We're
one
helping
place.
the guy who fell from the sky,
Far to the east,
who they're claiming
where
is
the
Sauron.
stars are strange.
They did say he's Sauron, right?
The lands of Hun. Yes, where you will be known at last for who you truly are. You fell from the stars, You are greater than they. For fire obeys your will. You fell below the dust. Yet dust fears you. For it trembles.
Okay, so they're saying he needs to go to Rune, which is which in the language means just east. But Rune is like, I guess they're just meaning the farthest east. It's also said that a lot of Sauron's minions and his influence was mainly in the east. So are they going to get rid of this character now and just have him? Because they're having Adar set up in Mordor. Adar, who said he hates Sauron. But then again, all the orcs, this is what's really cool about the Tolkien orcs and the Tolkien bad guys, is that they hate their leaders. Like, they despise everything. They hate their life. They hate, like, their very existence. Like, they're just darkness and hatred. Like, to kill an orc is a mercy killing. So now we have this invented dark elf half orc race, Uruk, Olog, whatever.
For now, bind him.
I don't know what these guys are. The deal, are these guys dark orc elves too?
Well, in the grand tradition of bad ideas, this might well be the worst yet.
Well, have you got a better notion?
That's kind of. If you've ever seen Danny DeVito, if you've ever seen like, well, if you ever read the books, the Wozies, there's a scene in Return of the King. Oh no, I think it's Two Towers. So they're traveling down right before they get to Dunharrow, and they have to get these Wozy guys that like don't really talk. They have like they look like statues. They said they're all like squat and like, and they hardly moved. I always pictured them looking like these little short fat guys. Okay, so Harfoot Chick is right. So they just bounded Sauron, wizard guy, to the tree. Those three minions, and now the hobbits who were following them are now trying to free him. Now I did hear something before all this came out that they were trying to make Sauron a sympathetic character, so this is how they're doing it. As you can see, before he's actually becoming evil here, he doesn't remember who he is, so he's just like, what? Oh, what?
Run!
Now we did get a hint of it early on when he like broke a tree or something and it showed somebody. Oh, the hobbit got killed. So that guy jumped out and threw a knife at the old hobbit leader guy and struck him. Alright, so we got some minion magic. Why are these guys all wearing white? I mean, I'm trying to be clever. They're dark Sauron minions. Have them all wearing black. Are they going to kill her? Is Sauron himself stopping them? Is Sauron is saving them? Okay.
Master, calm yourself.
Yeah, y'all better get out of there. Alright, so the Sauron dude just saved his little hobbit pals, and he's putting the smackdown on the minion people, on Eminem. Okay, so what's their plan? So they're going to bind him, and they're going to take him east and use him to take over the lands there. And we have Halbarad, helping. We have a mortal man helping an elf that's so old he looks old, helping him learn how to make rings. And we have these hobbit people successfully evading. Which, to be fair, I've always considered hobbit halflings to be semi-mystical creatures, so they can disappear really quickly. so the halfling just stabbed the one creature. And these guys are now using some magic against Old Man Sauron. And doing something or other. Make him see. Is he gonna open up his lidless eye? No, he's not the lidless eye yet. She was now the Hobbit's throwing rocks at Eminem with boobs. I guess is it a chick or is that like a trans elf wizard? I don't even know. I guess it's not supposed to matter, right? All right, so they're breathing some fire at the elf, okay? I mean, at the hobbit. Some really brave halflings, I gotta say. Like, they're really stupid. I guess they just really want to save their old man giant friend.
We need you. Please just take it.
Did it wish? Arrive. I will hurt you again.
All right, so he knows he's evil, and he's saying, "Get away,
Show
or I'm gonna hurt you again."
what I am.
He said, "They showed me," so they didn't open his eye.
Only you can show what you are. You choose by what you do.
She's trying to give a positive pep talk to Sauron. Only you choose your fate. You choose what you are.
You're here to help. I know it.
The only way this weirdness could be redeemed is if they make these elves. If the next seasons of this, or the last part of this episode so far, becomes the most tragic and dark thing you can imagine. If this becomes super dark, where like this halfling chick becomes like some evil like crazy orc slave minion, like a golem. Like if it gets that crazy, like it would work. Tolkien stuff was dark, man. Like Children of Húrin, it was like downright depressing. I mean, forget about Dostoevsky.
Shadow you came. To Shadow I bid you return.
He is not Sauron. He is the other. He is the
Oh, come on.
He is-
Come on. Did they just say what? He's a... No, dude. All right, so they're ring wraiths now. So they're freaking ring wraiths. He's like Istari. They didn't know who he was. It's just... Come on. What? He's Mothman. All right, so these guys are all getting faded away like freaking lights, like bugs in a bug light. They just said he's not Sauron, he's Istari. So okay, he's stupid. Oh, Nori! No, we don't get our dark tragic Lord of the Rings. No, that's not gonna happen. For a second, I kind of saw a glimpse of possible hope that this could be like turn into some really like some kind of like Dark Mirror type stuff. Like they could have went there because Sauron is evil. He's the most evil of evil.
Sorry, good lady. I'm afraid.
What are they doing with that? Like, he is the next down from evil, from the most evil of creation
All right, proud fellow.
in all of the created universe.
The missus will be waiting.
And yet they're doing this.
Now, if you don't mind, I'd just like to sit a while. Watch the sun come up.
They should have had all these Harfoots turned into like golem creatures, twisted and gnarled and gnawing at themselves in the shadows of the Black Tower or the Necromancer's Hill or so wherever in Rune they wanted to take that guy and say he was Sauron. So now he's a wizard. So now he's an Istari wizard. So which one is he? The best they can go here is it's some other wizard. It's a pre-Istari wizard. Because again, the Istari came Third Age, 1000th year, TA, Third Age. This is SA, Second Age. Great. Okay. Maybe it's not Gandalf. Maybe it's not any of the wizards. Maybe it's another wizard. One of the wizards they sent for the Second Age. Maybe it's freaking Tom Bombadil. I don't know. E.R. Wayne Benadar. Oh, it's Sauron. Oh, it's an. They're doing this to screw with people that already know the books. They're doing it on purpose.
8.
It's 9. Stairs to main post.
I don't want to give grief to the artists that did this. The Numenorian ships should look like
You're doing well.
cities.
Patronize me like that again, Captain.
Floating, tall, multi-layered. You ever see like the Japanese Yamato battleship where it's like towers upon towers that are going up that you can see over the horizon?
Who has you?
It should look like the Disney castle on a boat.
Given your loss,
Like they.
I would understand.
These things
it
are like
if upon our return you wish to take leave of duty.
swoops.
You once asked me.
Which character did I like in the series?
I claim to have had little choice. But the truth is, I could have left her there.
Which series?
Could have refused to follow her to Middle Earth.
In this series? What characters do I like?
Stop my son from doing so. Yet at every turn,
I probably
I make the
like
choices I do
Elrond the
because-
most in this, honestly.
Why, Elendil?
Because Elendil does not merely mean one who loves the stars. I just never imagined it would lead here.
I think the thing going on with Elrond and Durin, I think that's kind of the thing I can just kind of isolate more and
My father once told me.
again, I don't mind effeminate
The way
elves
of the faithful is
as long as they
committing
can still
to pay the
kick
price,
butt.
even if the cost.
Now he's not really
cannot be
doing
known.
that, but he's putting up with
And trusting that
dwarf
in the
nonsense,
end it will
so
be worth it.
that's cool. As long as they don't get too blinky eyed together.
cost is
You're like,
dear.
come on.
It is.
We have little choice then but to keep serving.
I kind of missed where who Elendil, because she didn't really know who Elendil was,
Come what may.
but now he's like her she's the queen regent. He's like her vice regent now. I mean, like, she didn't really know. And Elendil, he wasn't just some random guy. Like, his house was like a noble house of Numenor. There were like noble houses of Numenor. If I'm recalling, she was just like, oh, aren't you people from the Almendalos or whatever? Alright, so the Numenorians are returning back to Numenor. Now, somebody else mentioned an old Numenorian colony. I think it was the last episode. The woman, the apothecary, who became the leader of the village of jerk-faced Satan worshippers, said, "Oh, we're going to travel down by the mouths of the Anduin. There's an ancient Numenorian colony there." And so they're back in Numenor. Because again, Numenor is supposed to have like networks of. I mean, Numenor is taking over the world. Numenarians are like they should already have. Again, I don't know what their timeline is going here. I've never really bothered looking up what year this is supposed to be taking place in. Wouldn't matter anyway. Oh, is the king finally dead? King Tar Palantir. And that guy is what's that? Explosion? An explosion? Oh, so now we're back. See, they make the elf stuff and the Numenor stuff look very similar.
The Mithril is proud. It refuses every effort to bond it with lesser ores. Tapping into the powers of the seen and unseen world seem to soften the boundaries between the two. It doesn't make any sense. We used to have pressure to fuse the very heavens with the earth. It should have held this time.
Patience. This is a journey.
So Celebrimber's forge blowing up. See, the Celebrimber stuff's pretty cool. Kevin, man, good to see you. God bless you.
Perhaps we've been pushing ourselves too hard.
Pushing ourselves too hard.
It's funny.
Supposing that's the trouble.
It's cool seeing Celebrimber's forge
Supposing
be put
we've
to.
been using too much force.
But again, that's like.
Meaning what?
Meaning that the metals shouldn't be forced to join, but more drawn or
That's like still special effects
together.
overpowering the plot.
We've been doing it all inside out. Quickly, dismantle this. We start again.
My preference would be starting something like this from the get-go. We didn't need any of those previous episodes. We needed Celebrimber blowing stuff up in his forge, Elrond being like his. I would have been cool with Elrond being like the lowly apprentice of Celebrimber, even though he is like a prince, being like, but still he wants to work in here because he's like really into the forge. Like this could have been, man, they should have hired me.
Galadriel. We found it. I don't know how we missed it before. There's too much power for one object. We need two. We're making two.
2 crowns.
Not exactly. It'll need
At
to
this
be
point, they're
something
making crowns, not rings.
smaller.
So I'm not sure what they're
See for
doing with
yourself.
Not until you
King
tell
guy.
me who you are.
She's saying, "Tell me who you are." So
You know who I am.
whoever he is, he's fooled her up
You
at this
really
point.
are.
He's fooled Galadriel up until
Galadriel, I'm
this
afraid I
point,
don't.
where they've been almost intimately
There's
involved.
no king of the Southlands.
She just said, "There's no king of the
The line was
Southlands."
broken. The last man to bear your crest died over 1,000 years ago.
Okay.
He had no heir.
She just threw a scroll at his feet with a family tree on it.
I told you I found it on a dead man.
No. No, on the raft you saved me.
On the raft, you saved me.
You convinced millions to save the men of Middle-earth.
You convinced her. I wanted to remain in Numenor
You fought beside me.
against your enemy. And mine.
Okay. So now Galadriel's
Tell me your name.
shuddering. Tell me your name.
I've been awake since before the breaking of the first silence. In that time,
Okay, so he is freaking Sauron. Galadriel just tried to stab him. There's your spoilers, Jim. Oh, she has nice hair. So now she's been transported.
lose your footing again, sister.
That's supposed to be hers, young.
It was just a little tumble.
All right, so now they're doing some weird magical. She's suddenly transported to when she was younger, and like she's having like this weird mental. This is how every single mortal should have been when they looked
On your feet now.
in Galadriel's direction.
My mind.
Please, sister.
So Galadriel's,
Look at me.
or Sauron. So this guy's obviously Sauron.
Galadriel.
No. I guess they thought the reveals were going to be like, it's just annoying. Like,
My own dagger.
just tell the story, man. Like we know the story. Don't try to tell your own story. Tell the story or tell your own story. Don't try to mess up
You have been very brave.
the actual story. Just to try
You
to get.
fought so hard for so many years to complete the task that I could not.
Your task was hunting Sauron.
My task was to ensure peace. But I learned that was Sauron's task as well.
No. No, you died.
I'll give it to them.
Along with
This is
countless others
it is
because of
season
him.
finale material to make that kind of reveal. Oh, this guy's this guy, this guy's.
He
I
was
mean,
seeking a power,
fair enough.
not to destroy Middle-earth, but to heal it.
So he's trying to say, oh, Sauron wants to
Just as
heal
your fellow elves
Middle-earth.
are seeking to do this very moment. You needn't lie to them. Simply let the work proceed.
That's just not coherent. It's not coherent for Sauron to try to convince Galadriel that he's trying to heal
Do you remember
Middle-earth. Like, there's
what I
no
whispered to you under
question
this very tree?
of what the orcs. Again, like what I said earlier about, is killing an orc a bad deed? We don't want to talk about how bad killing is. No, killing an orc is the best thing you can do. This moral ambiguity. Like, no, the bad guys are the freaking bad guys. Don't try to be the bad guys are just kind of the less good guys, but we're kind of bad too. So everybody's just kind of, no,
Why
man,
would you
come
say
on.
such a thing?
I mean, yeah, elves can be jerks sometimes, but they're not sucking the light out of the
Come back
universe
to me.
with
Galadriel.
giant spider monsters.
Look at me!
Galadriel, look at me.
Are they gonna make it all never happen?
You know who I am.
That would be kind of cool. If
I have
Galadriel
no friend.
predicted all
No
that
friend
because
of
she's so
Morgoth's.
smart, that would be salvageable. That would be if none of that happened and they take it actually back to the beginning of this entire series when they just met on the boat and she predicted all that just from looking into his eyes.
Great.
That would be good Galadriel.
clenched fist had released its grasp from my neck. And in the stillness of that first sunrise,
I don't think they're gonna do that though.
at last,
That would be bold because it's like, yeah, this whole season just it all happened within the glimpse of Galadriel's eye because she's such a intelligent.
whenever I was to be forgiven, and I had
yeah,
to
she's
heal
not like-
everything that I had helped ruin.
No penance could ever erase the evil you have done.
That is not what you believe.
Do not tell me what I believe.
No, you told me. After our victory, you said,
Yeah, I don't believe that
whatever
this
I'd
is
done
still.
before, I could be free of it
You
now.
deceived me.
I told you the truth. I told you that I had done evil and you did not care. Because you knew that our past meant nothing. Weighed against our future.
This is so weird.
There is no such future.
Isn't there?
I wonder if they were like rewriting it while they were coming out. So they were like, we got to change this. And I don't think so. That would be very shocking. How do we see the lights? Oh, look, he looks like Sauron in the reflection.
All others look on you with doubt.
I see
I
the
alone can
beauty
see
in
your
you.
greatness. I alone.
It's like Sauron trying to seduce Galadriel.
You would make me a tyrant.
I would make you a queen.
As beautiful and terrible as the morning and
Stronger
night.
than the foundations of the earth.
Oh, they're quoting it.
My king. The Dark Lord.
No. Not dark. Not with you at my side. You told me once that we were brought together for a purpose. This is it.
You bind me to the light, and I bind you to power. Together, we can save this Middle Earth.
Save.
I don't know. He might be convincing me.
I see no difference.
And that is why I will never be at your side.
You have no choice. Without me, your people will fade, and the shadow will spread and darken to cover all the world. You need me.
I should have left you on the sea.
The sea that you were on because
Okay.
the elves cast you out. They cast you
Yeah,
out.
I thought that would be
for
too good to be
begging for
true.
a
That they actually were going to go back and
soldiers. What will they do when you tell them that you are my ally?
none of that happened.
That Sauron lives! Because
You will die because of me!
Nice. They just like screamed at each other. Okay, so now she's like tied up with a rope underwater. So are they doing the? Can't really see it. Are they flashing it back? Or they're not going to tell us until the next season? No, we still got 20 minutes.
Stop, Elrond. It's Elrond.
Prove it. Where did we first meet?
Seaside, when I was first orphaned. I was alone, a young half-elven boy without friend or kin. You gave me water.
Yes, it had her waking
Where
up,
is he?
so she wasn't actually in the
It'll almost be finished by now.
ocean, but then it had her like laying in the puddle of water at the pond that she was originally standing in, drowning, and then Elrond pulled her out of it.
Galadriel!
See that kind of so. At least one of the writers in this is capable of good, sort of decent,
Is it done?
at least sort of cerebral mental weirdness.
Why? Because I pulled her
That's
from
what
the
I would
waters of the
expect for
Gladwin.
Galadriel in general, because in the books it always has like
Galadriel?
her searching people's minds with her mind.
Where is Halbrand?
He's gone. And I doubt he will return.
So she's not going to.
And should he ever, none of us are to treat with him again.
So she's not
What
telling them.
happened by that stream?
You spoke to me once of mistake. When you said you would not make again.
So she's not going to tell them that was
You are making
Sauron.
that promise very difficult to keep.
Were it easy, it would not require trust.
So is that's what they've done? They've relegated the part of Anatar, Lord of Gifts, just to that
So,
singular
do we
part?
proceed?
No.
Or are they going to not
We must
listen to
make
her?
3.
He is going to show up again.
Why 3?
She's telling them to
One will always corrupt.
make 3.
2 will divide.
1 will always corrupt, 2 will divide,
three,
but
there
with
is
3 there's balance.
Powers we forged today must be for the elves alone, untouched by other hands.
Galadriel, I
That's
have
so
determined that the purity of the lesser ores in the alloy is crucial. I need gold and silver of the most exquisite quality. I need gold and silver from Valinor.
He says he needs gold and silver from Valinor.
Creation requires sacrifice.
What does that mean? Is her knife from Valinor? She just held it up like they were going to like melt it down or something. I don't know.
Fragments. Impressions. More has come, but to discover the rest, I know I must go to Rune.
They're wrong about your name. What if they're wrong about that too? Or lying, or...
What they said, I knew to be true with a certainty that I can't explain.
See, the way he just said that, the chick is sitting there
called
talking
you something else.
to the Istari.
Istad.
Istar.
Is that your kind?
Istar.
He kind of said it like Gandalf. That's good.
In your tongue, that means wise one.
No, it doesn't. Not in the halfling tongue.
Wizard.
All right. Well, there you go. Whatever. It's probably Gandalf. Just
You're really
get
not
over it.
coming with us, are you?
Betimes, our paths are laid before us by powers greater than our own.
Is he even going to come back? Maybe they'll get rid of him.
Our feet to go where our hearts wish not to tread.
I don't know. So it looks like they're going to end this with the 3 elf rings being forged.
So it was a bit like an
Unless
adventure.
they're going to make a big thing out of trying to get. He just said they needed stuff from Valinor.
No adventures.
I don't know what that means.
They must be shared.
We can't go to Valinor and come back.
I think I've had about as much adventure as any Harford could ever hope for.
Very correct.
This year, if we go north ways, we have 30 days of clear trail on fresh grass and no trolls. All down the hill, look like.
I'm holding it upside down.
Eh?
Sorry, lad. I've nothing but steep slopes and brickled brambles for weeks.
Well, if you're so quick and wise, why didn't you do the trail finding?
Wait a minute, I missed Nick.
Watch out for little ones and stragglers. Nobody goes off trail. And nobody walks alone. Sounded better than Sadek said that.
All right, what are these hobbits, halflings doing?
Wish the old Cobra still with us.
He is.
Oh, so the guy did die. Wasn't that in the fight? The guy threw a knife at him and they killed him. That was just bizarre. So we had these 3 random, weird, elf-looking
You're part of something bigger.
beings who went and kidnapped the Istari, thought he was
He needs
Sauron, were wrong about him being
You
Sauron.
belong out there.
And the actual Sauron was floating on a raft in the middle of the ocean, of the Atlantic Ocean or whatever. And then he just happened to know Galadriel was going to be sailing west, or what was he doing? What was Sauron doing, just floating around?
Did you break the lantern? Of course.
I mean, he is an evil Maiar spirit, so I guess
Well.
that's just what he did for thousands of years.
Well.
Just floated around on a raft, like, doing weird Sauronic stuff. I don't know. He could do that if he wanted.
Snares for the big fella. You know how hungry he gets.
And an extra blanket in case you get cold.
Right.
Let's see.
Trolls? We had Galadriel single-handedly defeating a troll in the beginning of this.
You're heading in the big beyond, and I haven't taught you a blooming thing.
Sure you have. Always quench your fire, water and earth. Don't squat by river, never know when you need a drink down the stream. And a Harfoot without manners is as light to get far in life.
Wait, what's she doing? Is she going out
Square.
with the wizard?
It was the same thought, Father.
So touching.
Find where the river runs, where the sparrows learn their songs.
I'm not sure what she's doing.
I will, Mother.
She's departing from them all, so I'm assuming she is going with the wizard to Rune with him.
No.
Which it seemed like she'd be more of a hindrance. I mean, he's a freaking wizard who can, like,
You'll be bold.
blow stuff up, presumably. Like, she doesn't know anything about anything. She can keep a lookout. Ah, nice hobbit family. Oh. Choo-choo-choo.
Oh, go on. Go on.
They should have.
Before you lose your nerve.
I'm still thinking my idea of those actually being Sauron, them capturing this entire colony of halflings and transforming them into, like, orc halflings. Would have been a lot better, taking the show a whole new direction. They become like the goblins of Mirkwood. Wins, man.
Why does everyone I love the most always have to go away?
Good to see you, Wins.
And we'd never learn anything new.
God bless you, man.
You'll come back. Promise.
We're still in these weeping halflings.
With an ankle head. You're my best friend in this.
I guess we gotta wrap them up for the finale.
I'd do anything for you. The world's not that wide, Poppy. It's that we're so big and small. Stick close to that tall fella. He's a good friend in a spot.
Yeah, she's definitely going with him. Wherever they're supposed to be going. For whatever reason. Because it wasn't until... the Asteri weren't sent from Valinor until the 30 Age, because it was Sauron had already started to... had already colonized Mordor, had already built armies, had already done all this... was already rebuilding his power, and that was the point where the Valar decided they needed to intervene in some way.
More than ever.
And send the wizards.
Well, they're all waiting on you.
This has them doing it way sooner.
I won't ever be able to leave.
Well, then, perhaps it would be best if you lead off.
See, is he doing like an Ian McKellen impression?
My feet feel heavy as iron.
Can't tell.
Not to mention,
At what point is he going to go, just call me Olorin, or just call me Mithrandir? You know what? That would break canon too, because Gandalf said, "To the east I go not."
There it is.
And now he's going to the Rune.
Are you sure?
Or isn't that where he's going?
Not entirely. There's a sweet smell on the air this way.
I mean,
When in doubt,
he's wearing grey.
Eleanor Brandyfoot. Always follow your nose.
Always follow your nose. Dude, is that a Gandalf line? It's really getting on my nerves. I really want to know who this wizard is. It would be semi-acceptable, again, if it was still, there's still a chance they didn't name this guy yet. If he was a fabricated wizard, this cherry wizard. Not Gandalf, not Radagast, not Saruman. But we'll see. Looks like they're not going to reveal it. Oh yeah, okay, so Galadriel does have her dagger, which I guess she took from Valinor. So they're going to use its ore to forge the 3 elf rings. So I had always imagined had an image of what the events that it just showed, how they came to pass, and it was generally shown to have taken place over the course of maybe even centuries. that Sauron was actually living in Eregion, not just in here where he was like there for a couple days, like getting real cozy with Celebrimbor. And Galadriel's like, whoa, because it is a storyline, and it is canon that Galadriel didn't trust him, and basically she left Eregion because he was there. She, like everybody else, was like, "What's your problem with this guy?" And she was like, "He ain't happening." But nobody would listen to her, and she left. Although eventually, I can't remember what actually. I can't remember why or how he eventually left. All right, so now he's mixing the mithril in with the foraging stuff, and make some kind of weird ore. Okay, so now we're just seeing how elves make their. No one has seen the Father except he who came down to know the Father is infinite. Only an infinite God can behold an infinite God. Amen. Amen. Take care, Winds. They made the. Is that what they're making the ring out of? Yeah, so they really rushed through that part because, again, what it just showed happening in like a couple days, I would always imagine took place over the course of centuries. Because there's some way that they forge these three rings that still gives them some kind of connection to the One Ring. Because at some point, Sauron's going to be making the 9 rings for the men and the 7 rings for the dwarfs. The 7 dwarfs. Right, so Elrond just found the scroll that she threw at Halberard's feet, showing about a line of men or whatever. Okay, so they're placing jewels in the 3 rings. Elrond is quickly trying to get up there. So is it because that I'm still trying to think of what actual connection these 3 rings would have. Because as soon as Sauron makes the 1 ring and he puts it on, there's the rings of power. They finally see some. As soon as he puts the 1 ring on, the bearers of these 3 instantly realize that, oh, there's something happening here, and they take the rings off. Or no, they don't. They do something. They go into hiding with the rings. Oh, no, they're still wearing them, but they're. Well, I don't remember because Galadriel's wearing her ring, and so is Gandalf is wearing his ring, and Elrond has one. They're invisible while you're wearing them. But they're definitely able to resist Sauron's influence when he puts on the 1 ring. So there we are. Nenya, Vilya, and I don't remember the 3rd ring's name. It's supposed to be like the ring of air, water, and fire. Okay, there's the king. Okay, so that makes more sense, at least, that when he says he's the king of the Southlands. Yeah, and I was thinking, like, there is no king of the Southlands. Like, everybody should know that off the bat. And then this has Galadriel.
Rings for the elven kings under the sky. Seven
Interesting.
for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone.
Interesting. Well, I guess I wonder when the second season's out. So there's definitely a lot to complain about. Although a lot of the places that they were taking it, they did sort of undo it, because again, that guy being Sauron, the sort of interaction that he had with Galadriel, I thought was kind of neat. The way that they sort of rushed through his relationship as Anatar. Well, they straight up didn't do the Anatar thing. They went full on revisionist with the Anatar thing. There was no elf named Anatar, Lord of Gifts, who lived amongst Celebrimbor and taught the elf the art of ring making. There was this Halbarad, random king of men, who Galadriel brought in like a stray cat into the halls of Osten Edel, and showed, and they are like, oh, this mortal man who's who we're like 500 times older than, like, we're gonna let him show us the art of ring making. Let's trust him. And then Galadriel has to go and look into some ancient scroll once again and figure out, hey guys. So Galadriel's just, well, she knows what's up. Even though she had been with him for so long, she had been with this mortal man who, again, we'd seen made her cry, had this crazy, like, she she never put two and two together. Now, good to say, well, look, that's how good Sauron is. He's Sauron. Of course he's going to overpower Galadriel. She's just an elf. He's a Maiar spirit. That could be fair enough again, but so they've just gone just all out with the revisionist stuff. Like, no, there's no Anatar, there was no elf. Sauron was actually disguised as a mortal man who came amongst the elves. So that's fine if you want to take it and make your own complete version of the story. Yeah, that's a thing. Like, for that alone, I could choose to completely despise and just utterly hate this. I have to think about it, because that's just like it. Because don't take this the wrong way, but I'm thinking of it like Tarantino, where they redo like Hitler being shot up in the movie theater in Inglourious Bastards. And it's like, okay, like, you could watch it and be like, that's not what happened. We know that's not what happened, but this is what they're doing in the storyline. But the fact that, yeah, whatever. I blame Tolkien's grandkids. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to think of all that. At least we got some rings of power being shown. At least I thought it showed a nice glimpse of the way Sauron could operate as far as like being deceptive. That's cool, but I honestly would have preferred that entire raft scene being a glimpse in the mind of Galadriel as she predicted everything that would have happened if she brought Sauron to Numenor. But that's not going to happen. And I've never seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but from and it's never been spoiled for me either. However, from just sort of reading between the lines, I think I sort of know what happens or doesn't happen in that. I might see it one day. I've sort of lost my urge to watch movies anymore. Because normally a Tarantino film, I think the last Tarantino film I sort of like, oh, I'm going to watch that, because the Tarantino film was was it the Magnificent? Did he do Magnificent Seven or the the Crazy Eight, or one of those movies that he did, where it all took place within a saloon, and I think it's Kurt Russell like actually destroys an actual antique guitar that they rented. And it was an actual antique, and he didn't know it, and he thought it was a prop guitar. They were supposed to switch it, and he crushed like a real antique guitar. And Jennifer Jason Leigh's reaction to it was authentic. Now, the story is it was an accident. I think Tarantino purposefully planted that, like, knew it was just so he could film the reaction, and just so he could know I destroyed this antique guitar on my film. That's totally something he would do, no doubt. But yeah, so I mean, they are unapologetically making this like full blown like feminist show. You can't deny it. Every single character between Durin being told by his wife, like, no, you got to stand up to your father and do this stuff. Galadriel just plodding along. Just all of the elf men are just oblivious. As far, I mean, except for Elrond, but even Elrond's just sort of relegated to messenger boy. You know, Gil Galad's kind of a knob. Celebrimber is just kind of whatever, quirky. And yeah, all of the men in that village, except for the king, right, who is Sauron, all of the men are just evil and just don't really care. Numenor, you have what happened to Isildur? Isildur is supposed to be lost and dead now. Is that supposed to be something we're worried about? So you have this drama happening on Numenor now. So they're going to go, and I don't know. It's all very strange. So yeah, so the only thing that's really been resolved is who Sauron is, and that other guy is really a wizard, and because we now have the Numenorians, I assume, are going to now go to war with Mordor. Mordor, there's somebody named Adar running it. So I assume Sauron is going to have to fight against this Adar guy. And then we're going to have this other entirely different storyline branching off with the wizard guy and halfling chick, which I don't know where they're going to integrate that in, but I guess that's saved for next season. So kind of strange. Not sure what else I would have expected at this point, but yeah. Again, I can't say that I completely despise it just for the reasons that I because I seem to have this ability to see where it could have gone, and I'm like, or maybe what some people are trying to do, and that's the thing. I know that there are many people involved with making this, and when that happens, there's always going to be just crazy stuff happening. So, but yeah, I'm not sure how to give my kind of final feel on it, because it's like it's obvious they're not even pretending to try to be doing the actual story in the book now. So if I just look at it like fan fiction, so then the question is, do I want to take my time to continue watching it if I don't consider it like to be the actual world of Tolkien? I don't know, because I never even finished watching The Expanse, and I love The Expanse too. I haven't seen any of the new Star Wars movies, except for one of them, which I just happened to catch it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. If I want to bother watching this, or if I even still have Amazon at that point. Because the only reason I'm doing this is because I actually just happen to have Amazon subscription, and it was like, okay, and I happen to be a huge Tolkien nerd, and it's like, okay. Yeah, I'm on like season, what's it, like 4? Because I think I wanted to rewatch them, and the Expanse episodes, but then I started rewatching them, and I was like, well, I always like doing other stuff now when I watch stuff. Like I never really just end up sitting and just watching something just to watch it, like unless I'm going to sleep. I'll either be like, if I'm like doing the dishes, or if I'm like, even if I'm like in the shower, I'll put something like the news on or something, or if I'm like doing like like chores. Like I can only be like put a movie on or a TV show. Or I don't watch TV shows. Like if I'm doing something else, I can't just sit and watch something. But although I am kind of looking forward to watching all of the reviews of this. I watched a few, and there's so much stuff that I missed, which as a Tolkien person, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I missed that. But some of the stuff's because I've been just talking through it. Like the fact she did mention Celeborn, her husband. Like they just threw that in as like an afterthought. Like, well, I guess we better mention Celeborn, like Galadriel's, like who she's famous for being married to. And they talk about it as if he's like a lost war hero or something. I don't know. It's strange. Yeah, so we'll see. I also never finished watching Vikings. That might be the first one. Yeah, I'm gonna watch. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch. I'm gonna binge watch a bunch of reviews of this now. People are brutal, man. People are ruthlessly brutal. But whatever. That's what happens. That's what happens when you put yourself out there. If you're gonna do what you're doing to an almost sacred franchise. I mean, at this point, I'm so jaded with Star Trek. I haven't seen any of the Star Treks. I did watch the first 2 episodes of Discovery, the double pilot, which I thought was all right. And I probably would have watched it if I had I wasn't about to make a new subscription for Star Trek. The Vikings. When did I stop watching that? I know the new series. There's like a new Viking series that's the one where they have like a black Viking queen, and like everybody. Like, then the guy himself is like a historical figure that supposedly was like a hero. So all these like actual Nordic people were like very offended by it. But that was like Vikings New Age or something weird like that. Like it wasn't the original one with right. I mean, historically, that one was kind of upsetting. Like if I watch that as like a history nerd, like now I'm not an expert on that era, but I know that like Rollo and Ragnar are not within the same time period. Ragnar is not even like an official real person as far as like them verifying. Cause there's a couple different people, and we also see in the beginning of Vikings the Lindisfarne settlement slaughter, and then we see at the same time within the same lifetime the Paris siege. So yeah, they do the same thing almost they're doing with this Lord of the Rings stuff, although too as far as the timeline messing with. Of course, they do it to the extreme in Lord of the Rings. Linden. Oh, I think that's now there's this one map that I wonder if I could tell you what to Google to find it. It's like Middle Earth. Just be that easy. Middle Earth real life map. Actually, it looks like it is. I think one of the images I'm seeing. I don't know if I can really share my screen on this. Nah, you have to find it. But yeah, there's one that really super like it you see like it shows the outline of the modern day maps and it superimposes it, and it's like where the Misty Mountains is, if it's like everything got sort of slanted, like the Misty Mountains would be, so it would make like the area, but it would be like make like Denmark or like Copenhagen would be like where like Orthanc is. It's bizarre. Like everything's sort of stretched out. Alrighty. Well, thank you very much for hanging out. I do appreciate it. I hope some fun was had. And I hope everybody has a great and safe weekend. God bless. Brothers in Christ, brothers and sisters. Thanks. Alrighty. Y'all stay safe. God bless.